Hey, what's up guys? It's Kerry from Phoenix and Bow, and thank you for joining me for another shave. Today is a day where I'm going to be sharing with you some new kit that I've got, and also, talking about a few things, a new razor. Very excitedly got a new razor for my birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago now, earlier on in November, grand old age of 42, which if you are a Douglas Adams fan, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll know that 42 is the answer to everything. So in my mind, 42 is the coolest age because I'm a massive nerd and a massive Douglas Adams fan. So yeah, 42. What I got for my birthday from Sarah was this razor. Let's see if the focus can grab that properly. Now this is a... Is it going to work? It's not going to work. That's a shame. Okay, it's a Blackland razor, and it's their Dart. It's a really pretty piece of metal. The design's really nice. I love the lines, the curves, the shapes, the contours, and so yeah, I'll be shaving with this today. In here we have a feather blade, which is 3 uses in now, and this will be my third use with this razor. And I was somewhat surprised, if I'm honest with you, in the shave that it gave me. It gave me an excellent shave. Let me qualify it in that way firstly. It gave me an excellent shave. It is a very, very aggressive razor though, and I was surprised by that. I'm not sure why. I didn't think it would be... I suppose I hadn't really done my reading, so it's my own fault, I guess, but I hadn't done my reading on it, and my eyes weren't open to just how aggressive it is. So it's really quite brutal. It gets through the beard, a couple of passes, tops. For my ludicrously soft skin, especially down here, a couple of passes, job done. And it keeps, even for a double edge, it keeps the whiskers off for a lot longer when compared to, my other double edges that I've got in the den. So this is by far and away one of the most extreme and aggressive razors that I have, and that's in the context also of single edges. My Feather Artist Club, it's up there. That's just how aggressive it is, but it's a great razor. Don't let that put you off. I think price point was £99, and it's really nicely crafted. You can tell that. Really nicely weighted, good length in the handle, and I'm very happy with it. I just have to learn how to use it properly. But certainly when I've got a few days growth like I have now, this is definitely the tool for that job. So that's my razor. The brush, you might have seen this many times before if you've watched a few more of my videos, but it's my favourite brush on planet Earth. It's my 30mm Cadman Bow synthetic. And then for my software, special soap, given that we're going into Christmas, and this is our limited edition Christmas seasonal soap, which is Achilles Last Stand. Check it out. Look at the artwork. I'm so chuffed with this. I'm so lucky to have Sarah on the team in Phoenix and Bow. She is Phoenix and Bow. She runs the show more or less nowadays. I'm here. I do the odd video. I help out when I can up at the soap kitchen, and I do some of the communications with customers and stockists and things like that. But everything else Sarah does. So she really is Phoenix and Bow, and she is responsible for our imagery and our artwork. And I certainly think it gives us a point of difference in what is becoming quite a busy market. I like to think that we buy with our eyes. Before, you can't smell this obviously through the camera. It smells amazing, but you can't smell it, right? So how do we buy these things? How do we buy the things that we like to get? Typically with our eyes, and that's how we work in nature. In the context of like fruit, flowers, things like that. We were hunter-gatherers going back. Different tangent. But coming back to Achilles Last Stand, I'm just chuffed. You know, it's very, Sarah went down like the 70s retro, nodding our cap to the artwork that was used by the likes of Yes, but particularly it takes its name from my favourite band on earth, which is Led Zeppelin, from the track Achilles Last Stand. And it is kind of reminiscent of, you know, Achilles, you know, a warrior in the midst of battle. Just some sort of dramatic contrast landscape in the background. I think it's just beautiful. So that's the soap. Very aromatic, which you'd hope for, I guess. But there's oud in there, like a bit of rose, musk, resin. Not a hugely strong soap, I'll say that now. But we're not really known for producing very strongly scented soaps. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of scent in there. There is strength in there. You can smell it, but it's not going to blow your socks off. It's not a scent strength 9 or 10. To my sense of smell, that's a good 5 or 6. You know, it's not too obtrusive. It's not gonna, the scent won't sit on your skin all day, but you can certainly smell it. For afters, there'll be a bit of post-shave lotion of Achilles Last Stand. So this will enhance the scent a little bit further, but more crucially, it soothes the skin, cools it, soothes it, feeds it on top of, you know, on top of what the soap done. And then to close everything down, and for a good old bit of old-fashioned face burn, because we're sadists, the aftershave splash. Just lovely. So that really I'm looking forward to this shave. Oh, it's lovely. So there we are. That's just a brief sort of counter through what I'm going to be using. Slightly different evening here for me, in that Sarah and the children are away, and it's just me at home. So proper luxury, a real treat for me. So I thought, I've been at work today, been at work in the office, and much of what I do during my day job has to do with reading copy. And so I spend a lot of time in front of a screen, and consequently my eyeballs feel like they're going to fall out my head right now. So I thought, get home, treat myself to a really good shave, and just check in with you, see how you are. And just share a few bits. Won't be a long thing, won't be a long video. Well, I have been rambling on for kind of 8 minutes or so. My time was telling me. But anyhow, yeah, I'll get on with the shave. Good to go. So I've been trying a few different techniques for building my lather. I think for a long time now, I've been a face latherer, and I think that's probably always going to be the case. But what I mean about the different methods that I've been trying to use are, you know, watching other wet shavers on YouTube. You see how some people like to build their lather by putting on quite dry, dehydrated lather, really thick, almost paste-like, and then they go to work on it with more water in their brush. So they'll have a couple of goes at it, 2 or 3 goes, and they'll build the volume of the lather and do it that way. I've been trying that, quite enjoy that. And that's kind of what I'm doing today. Haven't loaded the knot for too long in the jar, just sufficiently to get enough onto the face. You see what I mean? So it's the volume-wise, it's not there's not clouds of it, but it's dense. So a little bit more water. I can feel the volume inside the knot already increasing. You see it starting to build up around my neck here. Lovely. Really lovely scent. As I'm on the subject of lather, I wanted to talk about Sovereign, our new tallow base, which will be coming out this spring. Sovereign is similar to our original tallow base in its kind of structure, low structure, not tons and tons of voluminous clouds. I mean, you can build it in that way if you wanted to. Just different technique, more water, perhaps load the brush a little bit longer. But it's quite similar to this in that it is low in structure, so quite close to the skin. But it's very, very thick and protective. I'm intrigued about this shave because I've got a good few days growth on the face. And as I was explaining earlier, the Blackland dart is a bit of a monster, so it should be very efficient. Right, let me just tidy my brush up. I've made a mess here. Oh, that on my shirt. If you, I guess you can't really see my top here. It's an old top. If you can read that, the Swine Bar, Kosovo, 2001. There's the Union flag there. What this top represents is a time when I was in the army, in the British Army, a long time ago now. Feels like a different lifetime. And I deployed to Kosovo operationally and worked down there doing communications stuff, which I won't bore you with. But we worked in fairly small teams, and where we were based, out in the field, so to speak, we had our detachment, as they were called, where we worked. We did our day job, but then we had a bit of downtime, and we were allowed to build our own bar, and we named it the Swine Bar because our location was known as Piglet. I don't know why, it just was. It's the name it was given amongst other different platforms that I worked on, given different names. Our site's name was Site Piglet. Brilliant, hey? And so we originally called our bar the Swine Bar, and yeah, it was pretty crazy times up there. Brutally cold in the winter, and just proper seasons. Hot, really scorching hot summers, freezing cold winter, loads of snow, amazing people in Kosovo, incredible people. Memories that I'll never forget, with young children acting as shepherds, bringing their livestock up onto the mountain, up where we were working, and all they had to keep them safe were a couple of enormous, granted huge, sheepdog, which you wouldn't want to go anywhere near, sheep or no sheep, and that was it. But they were just carefree, and they played football. We played football with them and gave them some of our rations, and didn't speak, neither of us spoke respective languages, but there was that universal language of sport. And I'm not a big football fan, but I like playing it, just don't really enjoy watching it. But that universal language of sport did us proud, and it was a good time. Lots of other stories that I'll just bore you with, perhaps another time. But anyway, I just thought I'd wear this old top and just share a story with you. Right, before I get any more lather on the top, I'm going to go for the first pass. So nice and steady, crikey. When my first shave of this, I was really taken back by it. I thought, oh man, have I regressed? Have I become a noob again? No, it's just a bit of a monster. But extremely effective. So this is going to be a 2-part shave, because quite frankly, my skin just doesn't need a third pass of this. Oh man, decimating my beard, which is good. I was almost tempted to keep it on, but no, it's got to come off. Very nicely balanced, really nicely weighted. I think the owner is a chap called Shane. I'm trying to think of his surname. It's Schwartz something, maybe Schwarzland or something like that. But I think it's a German surname, and that's why he's called his company Blackland. But I'm fairly certain it's Shane, and if I've got the name right, he's done it. Whatever his name is, he's done a great job at this. What I would say though about it is that there's no room for error with it. You've got to really be paying attention to your shave. So how have you been? I hope you're well. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having good shaves. And you're taking care of yourself. Mind, body, your spirit if you're that way inclined. But generally just taking good care of yourself. You know, you might be of a similar age to me, you might be in your 40s, I know you might be much older, younger. But I just think it's so important to be taking care of ourselves, you know, in our younger years, just so that we benefit when we hit middle age and beyond. And then even more importantly, when we get to that stage in life. I had a good friend of mine at work go off with stress. He went off with stress for a month. And he's a good pal of mine, and he's the sort of guy who takes care of himself. He does yoga, you know, he's into Buddhism. He's very mindful of how he's feeling physically, emotionally, you know, just his overall well-being. And just out of nowhere, we were at work and something just snapped, you know, and then he had to have some time off to kind of just regroup and reassess and get some help and counselling and all of those things. And he was off for a whole month, and he's come back to work. He's just slowly getting himself back into it. But guy, mid-40s, you know, just caught up with him. So that's why I say, you know, that's why I'm a massive advocate. I'm certainly not impervious to stress. But I think one of my skill that I have is recognising when I need a bit of downtime. And this practice of ours, this wet shaving, is certainly part of that. It forms a small part of a little bit of time that I get for myself. A bit of stillness. Blimey. That is ferocious. That really is. Done okay there. Pretty happy. Couple of little nicks under here and there. Nothing bad. Nothing up here, which is good for me. That's quite rare. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll be going for a second pass across the grain and just a few little pickups where I need it, but nothing crazy. Trust me, I certainly don't need it with this razor. So I'm just going to clean down. Right, second and final pass. Kind of across the grain above the jawline, because my skin can take that up there with this razor. Oh boy, that is so close. It really is. You get around here, super aggressive. I'm just looking at it thinking, why is it so aggressive? You know, I don't make razors. So, you know, blade gap, exposure, angle, all of the above. But it's pretty severe. But I don't mean that in a bad way. I do really like this razor. It's just very, very brutal, but it's excellent at its job if you know what you're doing. I'm no pro, you know, but I've been doing this long enough now, and I'm okay at this hobby of ours. But I think for a novice, I think you'd probably get into a bit of trouble with something like this. I think they'll be cutting themselves quite a lot. Oh, I should have seen the top of the video really. It is, right now, shooting this video, it's Black Friday, Cyber Weekend, all of that craziness that I think Amazon might have started. And it's 20% off on the shop, so feel free to go over and help yourself. We'll have some more brushes and bowls available soon. We're just waiting for Ross and Mervyn to finish things up. But it's we get their pains being, tiny one-man bands. We know how difficult it is to keep up. Right, that's me. Yeah, awesome shave. Mildly scary. I'll man up. I'll get used to it. But yeah, that's a treat razor. That is, it really is. Right. What I mean by treat razor is it's something I would use when I've got a few days, 3 or 4 days growth. Right. I said I wouldn't do it, but I did. I said I wouldn't shave with no lather on with the darts, and I did. And my face is still just about intact. Excellent. Right, amazingly, my good pal up in Scotland, Kevy, part of Kevy Shaves fame, credited me with this method, this technique. The pulling your lather out of your knot post-shave and doing this. So cheers, Kevy. I don't know. I don't think I saw it anywhere. I just thought when I first started this, why am I just rinsing my knot out, and get rid of all that good lather? When post-shave, why not get it into the skin? Almost have a bit of a wash, even though I've had a shower and I'm clean. But why not do this? Why not be indulgent and get it into the face and look like a maniac? Why not do that? Right, enough of my ramblings. I'm going to clean everything down, and I'll be back. I'll be back with post-shave lotion and splash. Oh boy, that is the one. If you are new to traditional wet shaving, then I really can't emphasize enough just how transformative it makes me feel afterwards. For example, today, long day, busy day at work, in the office, get home, bit tired, eyeballs feel like they're going to fall out of my head, feel like about 4 million years old. I know I look it. But after that shave, man, I feel 42 again. I feel just heaps better. Shave right, feel brilliant. I mean it. It's just such a great thing. Cheers me up, lifts my mood, makes me feel better. It's just all good. Right, so a little bit of Achilles Last Stand post-shave lotion. I think I've put too much on here. I have. How much I've put on there? Need about half that. Oh, lovely. Whew. And then I'll just let that soak in. It doesn't take long. And then I'm going to go for it with a splash. There we go. Check it out. I like quite a generous amount of splash. Don't be shy. Wow. Whew. I feel great. That is just tons better. Very happy with that. Very happy with that indeed. Couple of little weakers that I'm just going to use my Allen block on just to shut them off. All right, so that's my shave. Again, thank you very much for joining me. Always good to see you. I'm very grateful for any of the views that I get. Just briefly, just to finish up on looking ahead to the spring, Sovereign development's going well, Vegan's ready to go. We're on for a spring release, so exciting stuff coming out in the spring. Thank you for your continued support, and as always, shave right, feel brilliant.